Property and model releases is a grey area for most of us. There are a few things you need to avoid when photographing for pocket stock, such as logos and trademarks, brand names, and profanities. Even if you have a model release for Superbad Girl, you still can't show her like this, drinking her favourite branded refreshment. Let's take a look at model releases and property releases in more detail. The rule for model releases is really quite simple. You need to have a signed model release for every recognisable person in every shot you take. As well as models, this also includes self-portraits, shots of your friends, and also family members. Anyone recognisable, in fact. For example, here's John and his friend Lucy, out and about taking pictures around London. John is taking some great shots of Lucy, and when he gets home, he decides to upload them to his Pocketstock account. Oh dear, John can't upload his edited images because he needs a model release. Let's start again. This time, before he starts taking pictures of Lucy, John gets her to sign a model release. He downloaded this one from the Pocketstock site before he came out. You don't have to use our releases, however. Once the release is signed, John knows that any good shots of Lucy from today can be uploaded to Pocketstock. Back to John and Lucy, who are still out and about seeing the sights of London. John decides he wants to shoot the London Eye. But hold on a minute. Let's just pause it here because this is where John needs to know about property releases. The rules of property releases are quite simple. You usually need a property release for any indoor shots where the interior is recognisable, even if it's your grand's house. For outdoors, most public buildings will not require a property release. If it's a privately owned building and it's the main subject of your shot, the chances are you will need a property release. As a rule, if you have to pay an entrance fee to get in somewhere, you will need a release for your images. Or, if it's owned by an individual or corporation, you may also need one. So, back to John and Lucy at the London Eye. John knows that the London Eye is a privately owned commercial tourist attraction. If he shoots the London Eye on its own, we wouldn't accept it. If it's part of the skyline, that's fine. If he takes a picture of Lucy in front of it, that's fine too. John knows what he is doing though, and as you can see in these examples, he takes lots of different shots using Lucy in the foreground that can all be used without a property release for the wheel.